My wonderful, beautiful, amazing Taurus. Happy, happy, happy birthday to all Tauruses, to all of my beautiful followers and fledglings, to all who haven't subscribed just as yet. But anyway, I'm Gabriella from Gabriella's Vampire Tarot. For today, I'm going to be doing a general love reading of 5-card spread. But before I do that, I want to offer these 12 red roses as a token of my love and appreciation for you all for supporting my channel and myself, but also as a birthday gift, because I feel like that everybody should always receive anything, from, a gift, two beautiful red roses, and especially since they are the vampire, flower of the entire, garden and stuff. But anyway, here you go. But anyway, I want to thank you all so much for your love and devotion towards me. This 5-card love reading includes where the first card represents you, the second, the other person, the third, the relationship, fourth, the past, fifth, the future. Then I'm going to draw a vampire oracle for you, then a favole, and then one from the French tarot deck, Le Tarot Interdit Vampiria. But let's get started with card number 1, which is you. Page of Cups. Okay, interesting. Well, the thing is, the Page of Cups is like an idea, child. It's like a tiny seed, It looks like that you're the one that is actually going to bring forth this beautiful kind of daydreamy, it's like you're kind of in the daydreamy kind of phase. And again, there's nothing wrong with daydreams in any way, because, that's how, realistic, ideas come, from, is pretty much from your mind and your daydreams of thinking, how can I apply this daydream to a realistic goal and expectation and outcome? Okay, well, or you can even have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, but I'm getting both. I mean, especially the single ones, but for the ones who are in a relationship, for that matter, it looks like that you want to actually start adding more, maybe romance, maybe more, and kind of, maybe you want to, like, apply some kind of, like, romance fiction or something to the connection. Maybe you want to be courted according to a book or something, or a movie or a show we'll read, or just, we'll watch and stuff like that. I mean, it's like, but the thing is about the Page of Cups is, it's kind of like a lighter version of the Fool, in the sense of thinking, it is, sort of an illusion, in a sense, you don't know what the, response or reaction is going to be, from, this whole, daydreamy kind of, proposition. And, yeah, the thing is you want to make sure that the other person is going to also, will be okay with any kind of, like, adventures or experiments regarding love, or anything, in this whole, love connection between you and the other person, for that matter. But again, it's like, it is a very beautiful card, but I would just be cautious, if you want to actually, propose maybe like new adventures of some kind. So, but either way, for the single ones, it looks like that you actually want to bring forth this kind of daydream. But let's see who the other person is. 5 of Wands. Okay, you could be with a Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, for that matter, but this is kind of like a competition. Okay, I'm starting to get a different idea here, because the thing is this is about competition. And maybe, you have your eyes on somebody. It could be maybe a fiction character, an actor, or a celebrity, for that matter. I mean, and the thing is, it's like, but the thing is about being a celebrity, for that matters, well, that particular celebrity probably has hundreds and thousands of other fans and stuff like that. So maybe, if you feel like, that, there could be, some competition, regarding, trying to approach this individual, whoever it may be. It doesn't even have to be a celebrity or somebody in stardom. But there's definitely, competition. Or maybe, well, these people are trying to compete for you as well. Maybe you're, like, in the stardom position. Well, whatever it may be, the thing is, it's like this person, can also be incredibly complicated, because there's definitely, conflict, in this card, it's more or less about sparring. It's not like the 5 of Swords, where you're actually, having, some kind of combat with somebody. But for that matter, it just looks like that, yeah, this is kind of maybe a bit of a complicated kind of individual. I mean, it doesn't mean anything particularly, sometimes, these situations can smooth over eventually. But either way, it's like, I want to look more into this, because it's kind of, yeah, I'm wondering about why you would have, maybe some daydreams about this person. Because the relationship, okay, 9 of Swords. Are you attracted to the bad girl or bad boy kind of person? Because this is a nightmare city. Okay. Yeah, the thing is, is I would be incredibly careful regarding this love interest, my beloved Taurus, my birthday Taurus, because the thing is, it's like, yes, it's fun to have daydreams. It's fun to write, stories, read, fiction, from these, romantic to actions to anything. But the thing is about, fiction is it's just purely fiction. It's mostly based off of myth for that matter. I mean, of course, it's like who would have known that a vampire's doing tarot for that matter? A lot of humans don't believe in vampires, or they might not even believe in me, or they might even think, oh goodness, maybe. But the thing is just because it's not there doesn't mean that they don't exist. So maybe, it's like, this whole, combination does exist, and maybe you're trying to, reach out and try to smooth over, this, complicated matter for, with your love and compassion and stuff for that matter. But yeah, I would definitely look into this. If you're in a situation where you're hoping to get out of this negative, complicated, relationship and stuff like that, I would do everything it takes and not just think, okay, well, I'm gonna just, maybe, we'll just, we'll put energy into it and stuff like that. If this relationship is, needs to end, I would do everything it takes to end it as quickly as possible, and, by any means necessary for that matter, because, having a complicated person in a nightmare relationship is not something that I would want for my birthday angels for that matter. Well, let's see who, or, what the past is all about. Okay, Four of Wands, okay. Yeah, the thing is about the Four of Wands is happy home, happy earth, happy family. It's just a joyous occasion. Everything just was beautiful. You both probably got married. Everything was just, beautiful. But then just as the time went by and like anything that's, the time just keeps going on, you start to noticing the dark side of this person, whoever it may be. And, yeah, I would definitely really look into this because, normally, any kind of relationship would start off as happy home, happy earth, happy family because, unless the person already had ill intentions and pretty much hid it, behind, his or her vows, whoever it may be. But yeah, I would definitely, look into this because, of course, a good, relationship often, starts with a happy home, but it's a negative also, tends to start with happy home, happy hearth, and then it just turns into problems. Wow. Because the future, Knight of Pentacles. Okay, well, something is slowly but surely coming towards you in the future. And again, I can't say when or how. I mean, it could be a fellow Earth sign, maybe another Taurus or Virgo or Capricorn for that matter. However, the thing is, it's like, okay, it's good that something is slowly but is surely going to be changing for you and hopefully for the best. Or maybe, you're going to be changing your own fate and destiny by eventually leaving this person, this man or woman, that's causing you problems in current times. But yeah, I just, love to see that, well, there's, definite, change on the rise and nobody should ever be stuck in any kind of like Nine of Swords nightmare or a conflicting kind of, situation and stuff like that. I mean, my goodness. What does Oracle have? Outsider. Okay. Well, what I see here is, this person, okay, maybe it is like the bad boy, bad girl kind of person. I mean, I've witnessed a couple of, these people, that are like that. I mean, I've never come across them, but I've only witnessed them from a distance, during my evening walks. But the thing is about, is this person could be definitely a misfit, and well, not saying that there's anything wrong with it, or an outsider, and maybe, it's like, what some of these fiction shows or even romance books try to do is they want to try to heal or correct or we'll find, the good side of the bad boy, bad girl. I mean, in the end, then they eventually become one of the nicest people. And who knows, maybe this is actually, one of the nicest people ever, to provide, a happy home, happy earth, happy family to begin with. However, it's like, I know how, well, Venus is your planet, the planet of love and well, for that matter. But the thing is being your realistic and rational mindset, you just, should also look at this person and say, okay, it's like, they could come across as anything, from the bad boy, bad girl, make, maybe, breaking rules, or maybe they're, like, doing anything, and then you pretty much say, oh yeah, I'm so intrigued by him. I mean, the thing is, I can sort of relate to this reading personally, because, the vampire that turned me was kind of like the bad boy individual, because, you know, it's like there's this something dark about him, but being the naive teenage girl that I was, okay, one of those Harlequin romance stories, you know, that even the human even tried to, you know, will throw at me as my, you know, well, my last birthday, you know, just saying, oh yeah, you know, here's a beautiful romance book, and I think, oh no, I don't fall for that kind of stuff. But I mean, you know, well, he thought it was, you know, well, entertaining in its own way, but he, you know, it's like, hey, but that's just about it. It's just for entertainment purposes and not for realistic goals and expectations. But either way, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, if you're trying to correct, you know, or try to, you know, win over the bad boy, bad girl, you know, hoping, you know, it'll give you more confidence and stuff like that. Most likely it'll just end up in problems, I'm afraid. But again, I'm not being biased towards anybody or anything for that matter. You know, it's like I'm personally the misfit and loner and wanderer in our human society for that matter. Am I bad or good? Well, who's to tell? You know, vampires are still predators for that matter. But I'm not saying that I am one, but according to the standard that we live in, you know, they pretty much just make us look like we're the evil ones for that matter, but I've never considered myself evil for that. But anyway, enough about me. But let's see what Favoli has. Ah, Three of Wands. Okay, Three of Masks, actually. No, actually, this is Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is actually, you know, just more or less talking about how, you know, you do have, you know, some kind of companionship and partnership. I mean, it could be, you know, the Knight of Pentacles that's going to be heading towards you and stuff like that. Or maybe you do have a very beautiful connection in, you know, well, with whoever it may be. It doesn't per se have to be the bad boy, bad girl kind of, you know, archetype. But, yeah. I do see, you know, that there's definitely, yeah, you know, there's definitely, you know, love, well, at least, you know, companionship for that matter, stuff like that. And maybe, you know, being the Page of Cups, you know, maybe you do, you know, love, you know, this, you know, romance kind of idea, kind of, you know, vision of whatever it may be. But either way, you know, it's like, you know, knowing that there are others around you, you know, that more or less is kind of, you know, makes it seem, you know, well, pretty, yeah, beautiful in its own way. Wow. What does our beautiful French deck have? Ah, the Seven of Swords. Okay, yep. Deception and somebody who's actually, okay, I get it. This person is probably, you know, you could be heading towards a very deceptive and very con artist kind of individual, and I would be careful of any kind of shiny trinkets and baubles and overly compliments and so much love and admiration and stuff like that, because that's how the hunter goes after the victim, is by, you know, just pretty much just, you know, showering with all kinds of beautiful compliments and lavish gifts for that matter, but there's usually ill intentions behind them. Not saying, you know, for the ones who are in a beautiful relationship, but you want to make sure that if you are, you know, that's, you know, well, somebody does it because they love you, not because they want to try to get something out of you in return. Yeah. Goodness. But the thing is about the Seven of Swords on a positive note, it could also be a really good you know, strategist or planner for that matter. So you could even be planning on a beautiful future. You know, maybe, you know, the Knight of Pentacles is, you know, like a really good planner or strategist of whoever it may be. But yeah, you know, I would just look up, you know, any kind of, you know, well, fake, you know, romancy, and just make sure that there are no red flags, and just, yeah, eventually, you know, well, something, you know, the clarity will show up for you, because I'm kind of worried about the Page of Cups being a bit of an illusion for that matter, but not saying that you are in the illusion phase, but you want to make sure that the other person really loves and respects you for who you are. Okay. Well, my beautiful birthday Tauruses, I'm going to have to leave it at that, but if this reading resonated with you, please feel free to join and subscribe to my channel. I love you guys incredibly, and again, happy birthday to all of my beautiful Tauruses and to all who haven't subscribed just yet. In a few days, I'm going back to general readings, so for now, I'm just doing love in general, but I'm also up for personal readings. All you have to do is subscribe to my channel and respond to the little, in the, yeah, almost a description, but that's my part. I mean, half the time I don't know anything about these things, but the human told me to say discussion box. The discussion box, you'll post that you want a personal reading, and I'll respond to you with my email, and then we'll get the process started from there. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I love you guys incredibly. I want to wish you all the best of luck on this journey.